Hi everyone, glad that we are back, and I hope you guys will be back too. And today we'll be like starting from where we left last time. So yeah, let's start.
Sounds good.
Yeah. First of all, like I would like to say thanks to everyone who commented and liked the video. Yeah. Uh, the last time we guys were like we stopped where I said like we guys traveled a lot together after we decided to decided to date each other. So we went to like many places such as Yellowstone National Park, Yosemite National Park, and I think the travel it helped us a lot to understand each other, because that is the time where I started to understand what she likes, what she dislikes. And if you guys are a good travel partners, then it is a sign that you are compatible with each other. And I think like I'll give this credit a lot to Jillian, because she being a travel professional, she knows how to plan things. And for me, I was like just she was the one who was like planning everything up, and I was just tagging along with her. And she used to tell me, okay, let's go to Yellowstone, let's go to Yosemite, and I was like, okay, let's go. The only thing I did was pack my bags.
Yeah. Enjoy the ride.
Yeah, so yeah, we traveled a lot together and
went to San Francisco.
Yeah, so that was the part of Yosemite, but
and Grand Tetons National Park with Yellowstone.
Yes, yeah, that too. But yeah, after that, like it was like almost 1.5 years that we dated each other. And there was a point like I started to think like it's been like almost 1.5 year, and somewhere I feel obliged to tell my parents. So I didn't want to I didn't want them to introduce like out of sudden. So I started telling my sister, my other relatives, and that I'm dating someone who I like. I never mentioned first of all that I'm dating someone who doesn't have skin color that as I do. But I started to have like mixed reactions. And when I told my sister, she's kind of open minded, and she was like pretty much she had like her arms were like open wide to accept me and as well as Jillian. But as soon as the word it started spread around with her friends, my friends, so I had like mixed reactions. So I've seen people who were like she looks like older than you. And that time I realized that mostly like Indian people, I never saw here, but mostly Indian people, they judge like if how person looks, if that is the thing. Like it bothered me many of the like most of the times, because one of my sister's friend that time like I was getting like lots of biodatas.
Explain what that is.
Yeah, but biodatas, like I think most of the Indians know that if someone wants to get, if someone mostly your parents, if they want you to get married, they will bring like different proposals. And so that time like I was getting many proposals from my family.
They're like profiles for the non-Indians, profiles with basically the person's name, all their family's names, their education, what caste they are, a lot of different things that would be important for, because in India, it's two families marrying each other. It's not two individuals. So community is very important in Asia and in India. And that's why with an arranged marriage, you have to look at a biodata that has the person's pictures and all their information that would be important.
What's their profession is, like, even their skin color. If they are like fair, if they are dark, and everything is mentioned.
Height,
even their height,
weight,
weight. I've never seen weight, but
height, I don't know.
Weight, but weight. I think you don't need to know the weight, because Anyway, like as soon as person sees, there are like few things like no, she's like too fair, she's too dark, or like he's too dark, or he's too short. He's too fat. So all these things, and I think like most of the times when Indians they go, like when there's like get together, like family get together to introduce like son or daughter, I think these are like these are like first few things that comes in everyone's mind, like oh, I didn't like the girl because like she was so fat, or she was like too dark. I don't want to marry like person who is dark. And I think it doesn't matter, because if person is like too dark or if person is like too fat, but if if that person is not treating you right, or that person is not giving you the respect that you deserve, then there is no point. Because see, I'm dark, but if my mind is like, if mind is like if my mind is like fair and is accepting, I think that's all it matters. So there was an incident, like, one of my sister's friends, she gave me a profile of one of her friends, and she was like, yeah, she's like really good fit for you. And the irony is, my sister's friend, like, I might have met her like one time, in like in my entire life. And she said that, she thinks that the person who is in the profile is like good fit for me. Like, how does she know? And when she came to know that, I've been like, I'm dating someone, like I was dating Jillian that time, she was like, oh, she doesn't look good with you, like, she looks like your older sister.
Auntie or
So
something,
yeah, so I like, people, they're like so judgmental.
And he told me that. I'm going to interject really quick. He told me that, and I was so surprised because on my side, I don't, even though I'm American, I don't discriminate any type of person. For me, I never look at the outside. It's the inside that counts. So if someone has good, if they treat me right and they have a good heart and their thinking is good, if they're open-minded, then I don't care what salary they have, what they look like. Like, for me, the most important thing is what's on the inside, not the outside. Yeah. So my friends, they didn't judge him at all. Yeah. Not one person said, oh, he's too dark. Oh, he looks too young. No one ever. And even when I asked, like, does it look like, how are we as a couple? Oh my God, you guys make such a cute couple. You can tell. But they, again, their minds were conditioned to think how we treat each other. So they're like, it seems like you guys have known each other for years. You treat each other so nice. You could tell you love each other. But I'm like, do I look older than him? And everyone was like, no, you guys look the same age. He's younger than you. I didn't even know that. Yeah. So I think it's like, it's just a different type of thinking.
And frankly, like, that time I started to question myself, like, if I decide to move further, then, I had to answer like so many questions, and the questions gonna be from, like, my friends, my siblings' friend, my parents' friends, my parents and relatives. And like, everything was like going so fast in my life. And in the midst of like everything, I had to change jobs a lot. So when we met first time, I was living in Peoria. That was like 3 hours drive from, her place. And then I got a better offer to Iowa. And that time, we just started dating, but she was like so supportive. She's like, if it's good for your future, then go for it. Because I left India, to have a better future. And if I'm having better future, it means my family is going to have a better future, like financially.
Oh, I want to say something about that. So when he told me that he had the job offer, he was living in Illinois and so was I, but we were a few hours apart. And he told me over the phone, and I felt sad because I was like, well, things are going well. It's the beginning. But he was kind of also sad, like, well, what does that mean? And he said, what do you think? He didn't ask my permission, but he was very respectful. Like, should I go? What are your thoughts? And automatically I said, do not stay for me. I care about you. I love you. And I want what's best for you. So if we're meant to be, if this is in our destiny, we will be. But you focus on yourself, on bettering, developing yourself professionally, go for it, do it. And he was feeling down. Even I was feeling down, but my heart said, like, I'm not selfish. Like, love is not greedy. I'm not going to tell you stay back from me because I want it to be more convenient. So I just put it in God's hands, and I'm like, yeah, go for it. This is a great opportunity, and you'll earn, maybe it wasn't earning, but it would be he was going to go from Caterpillar to John Deere.
Yeah.
So I gave him the support, and
and she even like came to help me move from Illinois to Iowa.
Oh, I took the day off.
And again, when I moved from Iowa to Detroit, even that time she helped me. And I have like funny story when we guys were like driving from Chicago to Detroit, and the car wiper fluid, it ran out.
Windshield wiper fluid?
Yeah, windshield wiper fluid, like, it ran out. And it was like so snowy. And because of that, the glasses, it was like getting like the windshield was getting too dirty, and she couldn't see it, and she was like freaking out. So on the highway, where the speed limit is 70, we guys were like literally driving at like 30 miles per hour. But that was like kind of experience. And I think all these things, like, slowly it brought us together, and we start like somewhere, like, I started to have a realization that she is the right person for me, not just because she like she supported me like in every way possible, but she helped me too, like mentally. She helped me emotionally. She tried to like bring me like together. So all these things, like when I tried to compare, like my Indian thinking and the way I think right now, I was sure that she's the right person for me. Yeah. And one day out of sudden I was like, okay, it's been like 2 years, like almost 2 years we guys were dating, and I was like, I think it's time to tell my parents. So, and the other thing is, like I have a kind of goofy relationship with my family, because every time I call them, like we joke around, and that time they didn't know that I'm dating someone. So, like that time I told my father that I'm dating someone, and my dad, the first question my dad asked, like, oh, is she like full Mali, and that's my caste, and what does she do, like is
For
she
a living.
yeah, what does she do for a living, is she an engineer? I like uh, so that time, like I just wanted to be straightforward. I told them seriously that no, she's American, she's white. And yeah, it's been like almost 1.5 year, 2 years that we know each other. And yeah, I really like her, and yeah, I think she's the right one for me. And I would really like to get married to her. And that time, like my mom and dad, everyone was like, no, it's not allowed in the family. So I was like, why? Why it's not allowed? They're like, no, it's just not allowed in the family and the society. I like, where is it written? Like there has to be a logical like reasoning why it's not allowed to marry someone you love, rather than marry someone who has same, like similar occupation or similar financial status in the family. Because financial status is the another thing which like
Put
which
emphasis
separates
on.
people even in the same family. Like if you and your sons and daughter, if they're like making more money than than your family, then obviously their social and economical status is going to be like much higher than you. And the way you are treated in your own family, it depends how much you earn and how fair you are. So all these
The
things,
respect that you
yeah,
get. But it focuses, even the caste system focuses more on the external things that, God forbid, can go away tomorrow. So you'll get more respect, even with a caste. Like the people who don't have as much education, don't have as much money, will be treated negatively. I remember the first time that I went to India to study abroad, and I was appalled because I'm a huge believer in equality and we're all the same and it doesn't matter. Again, I focus more on how someone thinks and how someone behaves and how they love. And so I couldn't believe that the drivers that would drop us off places, there's a lot of beggars. It's an overpopulated country. So, there's a lot of beggars everywhere and poverty. And they would always be, they're called hawkers. So they would be following us, me and my classmates, and begging us for money and saying, madam, I want to eat, because they don't use oftentimes like silverware. So they'll eat with their hands. So this means I'm hungry. Give me money. I want to eat. And I would feel bad at the beginning. I want to give them money. I want to help everyone. That's my nature. But the drivers would get so upset and they would treat them like animals, and it hurt me. From the bottom of my heart, I couldn't believe that this was the normal, but that is like, if someone, and even a driver isn't like a high status, but they would be like, hut, and pretend to hit them and, just make like these things go away, and like shoo them off as if they were dirt. And, there's a reason that people are beggars. There's a reason that people don't have money. Sometimes they're born into that. In Mumbai, I saw kids that didn't have enough money for even clothes, even food, that were going to the bathroom, going poop just on the street because they don't have a home, not even a slum to live in. So all these things, it doesn't make them less valuable. They're still humans. They
yeah.
still,
And they don't have a choice, but we have a choice. We have
how
a
to
choice, like
treat them.
how to treat people. Like it doesn't matter, people, like if they're not part of your family, but you have a choice. And I really think that I had a choice. And one of the arguments that I made with my dad, that why is not allowed to marry someone who doesn't look like you. Because all of us are humans. It means all of us are human. If you go to a doctor and say, how doctor, like if let's suppose I and her, if you go to doctor and if you have like same symptoms or same disease, is if like it is like medication gonna change based on like what your race or what your religion is? No. So that was my logical argument, and frankly that time my parents, they didn't have an answer. But after the first time I told my parents that, I like her, I would like to get married to her, they pretended as if they didn't listen to me. They pretended as if like there is like happened. Ignorance in, yeah, like, there is like bliss in the ignorance, or ignorance is a bliss, like whatever. And yeah, the days pass, week pass, and even like months pass. Like it was like almost 3-4 months, and every time I started or brought up like topic of her, they used to change topic. They used to start discussing about something else, and they pretended as if like they never heard about it, and they started bringing me like more profiles of the people. And that time I was like, I think it's too much. I think I had to take stand for me. And the one other thing that was going in my head was my sister. She's like 2 years younger than I am, and basically in India, so, like many people, they told me like, if I get married without my father's or my parents' consent to someone who doesn't belong to my caste, then it's gonna eventually, hamper, or it will be affect my chances of my sister getting married.
Arranged marriage.
Yeah, and that time, like that time also, like I didn't tell this to my parents, but my sister, she's kind of open minded, and she accept our relationship, and I'm really like proud of her, the way she thinks. And personally, if someone is not accepting her, if someone is if rejecting her because of me getting married to someone I love, then I think that person is not right fit for my sister either.
And when he told me about that, I was so shocked. And we were with some mutual friends, other Marathi friends, and they were like, this is normal. Yeah, obviously. Like, if a possible groom comes to know, if they find out that Kishor has married without his parents' permission and to an American, they'll automatically think that he is corrupt. Because Americans are corrupt, we are bad. I don't know, people think that. And because they only see movies, they haven't met any of us to know that there's good and bad in every place. And so then automatically they will say, shadi cancelled. Like, no, we won't approve our son to marry his sister because she must be corrupt. If her brother is corrupt for marrying a corrupt American. And I said, is that normal? Like, that's so racist. That's so prejudiced. Like, how can they think that all American people are bad? Like, oh, the media, they show that they're crazy, that they have no family values, and they're senseless and too much independence. But I've always been independent, but my family has taught me how not to abuse that independence, how to see it that it is a privilege, and that we should take it at that. Don't use it in a bad way, but better yourself. Go on the right path. Be a good person. So when I heard that, it was news to my ears. I was very, very shocked. And
I think that was one of the reasons, like, I decided to postpone, like, us getting engaged and getting married. But at certain point, I also didn't want to, take advantage of Jillian because it was like almost 2 years. And if I'm like waiting for my sister to get married, basically like I'm putting her life on hold. I didn't want to do that. And that time I decided, okay, enough is enough. I think it's time to,
make this official.
Yeah, make a step forward. And that time, on 25th of December in 2018, 17? I think 17.
No, 18.
18. Yeah, 18 we decided to, I decided to propose her.
Well, what happened was, I forget how we talked about it, but in the Indian culture, they don't exchange rings, engagement rings, and we do for ours. So he started asking me questions about it. So I knew that, okay, this is in his mind. He wanted to make it a surprise, but he knows I'm very picky. I'm very choosy. And so he's like, can you help me pick out the right engagement ring for you? Because I don't want to pick one out that you don't like. And I was like...
We just went for window shopping.
That was smart because, that's something you wear every day of your life. And I wouldn't want one that I didn't like either. That wasn't my choice. So we went window shopping, and I only liked one. Immediately when I saw it, we went to many jewelers. And I said, that's the one I want. So he got an idea. So I knew it was coming, but I didn't know when. I didn't know how he was going to propose. I didn't know any of that. And right before the proposal, for probably at least a year, because we were so long distance, we didn't see each other for many periods of time. Sometimes because I travel a lot for work and pleasure. So sometimes we weren't meeting for 2 months. We always spoke and we always texted every day. So our communication was very up and we trusted each other completely. But long distance, it can work both ways. It can be a challenge. You have to trust more. You have to communicate more. But it can also show you that if your love is so strong in a long distance situation, then it will be easier when you guys are together. Then that's proving that love is there. So it got to the point when we used to meet and I used to feel so sad. Like sometimes I would cry because I didn't want to leave. I was going to miss him so much, that we went for so many periods without seeing each other. So then for Christmas, we were all together.
Yeah.
You asked my dad.
I called her dad and basically asked his permission that, I'm thinking about
daughter's hand in marriage.
Like asking her hand for the marriage.
And that was very uncomfortable for him.
For me, it was like really uncomfortable. It was like, doing something without my parent consent and asking, my
father-in-law.
Yeah, my father-in-law about, his daughter's hand. So it was like really uncomfortable.
How did he respond?
Yeah, he was really happy that time. And they supported me like, in every way possible. So yeah, on 25th, when we guys were like opening our Christmas gifts, so that's when
he wrapped my ring.
Yeah, I wrapped her ring.
And my dad acted awkward, so I knew right away that this was going to happen. Because my dad's like, Kishor would like to go first. Honey, why don't you open the present that he got you? And everyone was smiling. I'm like, okay, they just gave it away. So I unwrapped it.
Yeah, so 25th of December. 2018. Yeah.
And then he got up and he said, will you marry me? And so I said yes. And they were all so happy, like almost crying with joy and taking videos with their phones and pictures and posting on social media right away because they've always seen him as a son and an equal, like a family member.
Yeah, that time, like when I proposed, I thought like there is no point telling my parents because they don't agree. Yeah, it's been like 6 months I was trying to tell them and they always ignored what I was saying. So I didn't tell that, I got engaged because for them, ignorance was a bliss. So I just carried out in the same way. And then we moved in together.
I moved here.
Yeah.
Within a few days, I packed all my stuff. And so I was living with my entire family. So it was like a joint family. My parents, I have 2 sisters, an elder and a younger. And my older sister's married. So my brother-in-law and then their 2 kids, we were all in one big house. Yeah. So near Chicagoland area. So I moved in with him. And then we didn't know when we were going to get married because we respect the family. We didn't want to do anything against their wishes, but we knew that this was real love. And that if we waited forever, then our lives would be on hold. And if we want to have kids and everything, we have to think about all of that. So it definitely wasn't intentional to be selfish or, to have them face society or to hurt anyone. But we didn't know at that point when we were going to get married. I said yes, obviously. I know he's my soulmate. He's the one. But
we moved in together and I know it's been a long time. Maybe in the next episode, we'll talk about, the journey from engagement to getting married. Because there was like lots of action. So
adventure packs.
Yeah. Thank you everyone. Thanks for watching this video. And I hope, we understand the reason behind, why we are making these videos. Because I know eventually the word gonna spread and it might affect me positively or it might affect me negatively. But I just didn't want to be, part of a system where, you have to like obey certain rules or, certain regulation just because they have been like part of your family or culture for like, centuries. I'm like, something being followed for so many years, it doesn't mean it's right. And I just didn't want to be part of it. And as I said before that, I know I'm not the first one, but there will like many people like us in the same situation. I just want to be like, a ray of hope for all those, people who believe in the love
And even people that aren't in such a situation, it's good to talk about, the struggles we've had, but also the joys we have. The fact that we do have a loving and a healthy marriage, being so different. There are people that perhaps are already married that wouldn't even know, what this is like, or wouldn't be able to imagine the things that we have gone through. So just by talking about it and being open and and dialoguing and sharing with you, being vulnerable. Of course, there'll be people that likes this and people that don't.
Gonna dislike us,
and that's okay. We're okay with that. We're prepared. But it's just good for understanding.
Yeah, it's for awareness, and here we guys are making ourselves like vulnerable. The people, like, we are exposing ourselves so that we could help others. And I'm just ready to take whatever, like, positives or negatives from people. If you like, it's
We're
fine.
being real. That's
if you
the important
dislike,
thing.
it's fine. But somewhere I think people will come to their senses and they'll be able to differentiate between right and wrong, between black and white. That's the point. Thank you.
Bye.